This is the Unit 17 vocabulary. The first word is utilize. Utilize means to put to use, especially for practical purposes. Sometimes you might hear your mom or your dad saying, you need to be utilized, okay? You need to do something. You need to put what you know how to do to use. Utilize it. Utilize math. Utilize science, okay, in your day-to-day life. The next word is mortgage, probably a word your mom is very familiar with in the real estate business. Okay, basically a mortgage is a legal pledge, meaning you're saying a legal pledge of property to a creditor as security for the payment of a loan or a debt. Usually people take a mortgage out on a house. Okay, it's usually for a large purchase. Merchandise. Okay, merchandise are things that are sold at a mall or a store. Okay, there's something that may be bought or something that may be sold. Next word is aggressive. Aggressive means vigorous, very energetic, and you're not timid. If I were to say someone is aggressive, I would say, they are very out there. They're not afraid to let their thoughts be known. Compromise. Compromise is basically a settlement. When you settle your differences between opposing sides in which each side gives up some claims and agrees to some demands of the other. So it's kind of like give and take. Inequity. Inequity are, and this is a Bible term, inequities are like your wickedness, your sin. They say, Christ was nailed for our inequities. Okay, he was nailed for our sins. I believe that verse is found in Isaiah. Adversary. This is another Bible term. An adversary is basically your opponent or a foe in battle, an enemy in battle. Denominator. Denominator is a math term, and it's the bottom number in a fraction. It gives the number of parts in the whole. So if you had 3/4, okay, it would take 4/4 for the whole. Okay, it's that bottom number that gives how many parts in the whole. Whereas the numerator is the top number in the fraction, and it tells you how many parts are being named. So if you have 3/4, it's 3 out of the whole 4. Okay, they're representing 3 parts from the 4. Equivalent fractions, you can see equivalent has the prefix like equal, meaning the same. Equivalent fractions are basically two fractions that are the same amount. Different numbers, but they actually equal the same. Now we're getting into some science terms. Glucose. Glucose is a very simple form of sugar, and it's used as a source of energy. A lot of times plants that are autotrophs will produce glucose as their food source through photosynthesis. Fermentation. Fermentation is the process in which cells break down molecules without any oxygen. This is actually a pretty cool thing because you think we need oxygen to do everything, but with the fermentation process, it allows cells to continue to function and to do their part without any oxygen. And that's the key, without any oxygen. Diffusion is kind of like how it sounds. Okay, you diffuse something, it spreads out. Diffusion is the movement of molecules from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. And we'll see a demonstration in class where I take an air freshener can, and inside that air freshener can, the molecules are packed together. They're in a high concentration area. When you spray the air freshener, okay, those molecules are now able to go out and they move into more space, which is a lower concentration. So it's from going from a high concentration to a low concentration. Okay, and then you finally have osmosis. And osmosis is the diffusion of water. Okay, so we take water, the diffusion of water. So we have those molecules from a high concentration area to a low concentration area. Diffusion of water through a membrane, so like a cell membrane with a plant or an animal cell, that allows specific substances to pass through. So once again, osmosis is the diffusion of water through a membrane, and that really is the key, through a membrane. It only allows specific substances to pass through.